By the late 18th century, the seemingly invincible Mughal Empire had shattered across North India. In its place, 12 autonomous regions took absolute control of the Punjab. Those 12 regions belonged to the Sikhs. In less than 300 years, a movement born out of peaceful, egalitarian philosophy systematically built itself into a commanding military and political force. The religion's origins lie at the end of the 15th century. Guru Nanak Dev Ji founded Sikhism strictly on spiritual principles, advocating for equality and devotion without the need for martial defense. This distinct identity grew rapidly. In 1539, the second guru, Guru Angad Dev, formalized the Gurmukhi script. He ensured the community had its own exclusive language to record and share its teachings. He also expanded the Langar system, a free community kitchen where people of all castes and backgrounds sat on the floor together to eat. These choices established strict social equality. They built a self-reliant community that bypassed the social and religious hierarchies dictated by the ruling Mughal powers. This localized authority soon acquired physical borders. The fourth guru, Guru Ram Das, established the city of Ramdaspur in 1574, a settlement we now know as Amritsar. Around a central pool of water in this city, the fifth guru, Guru Arjan Dev, constructed the Harmandir Sahib. It provided a permanent geographic anchor for Sikh worship. Through 5 generations of gurus, this expanding society maintained an exclusively spiritual leadership model. Their authority relied entirely on devotion, leaving the use of weapons out of their teachings. By the late 1500s, the Sikhs possessed an independent language, a self-sustaining economy, and a capital city. The infrastructure for a future state existed well before a single sword was drawn in its defense. The transition to warfare began with Emperor Jahangir. Jahangir faced a rebellion from his own son, Prince Khusrau. When Khusrau fled, he sought shelter with Guru Arjan Dev, who offered him a blessing and financial aid. Jahangir treated this spiritual courtesy as a direct political threat. The emperor arrested Guru Arjan Dev and issued a strict ultimatum: convert to Islam or face death. The guru refused, and in 1606, Jahangir executed him. This execution forced an immediate tactical response. The succeeding sixth guru, Guru Hargobind, introduced military training and weapons to his followers to ensure they could defend themselves against state aggression. State violence pushed the community to adapt. From that moment, protecting their religious existence required the organized capability to fight back. This timeline charts the parallel reigns of the later Sikh gurus and hostile Mughal emperors, friction scaling upward over decades. The violence peaked under Aurangzeb. The emperor ordered the beheading of the 9th Sikh guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, for refusing to accept Islam. The 10th and final human guru, Guru Gobind Singh, took command. He actively engaged Mughal forces, leading prolonged campaigns and securing multiple tactical victories. The cost of this resistance was immense. During these conflicts, Guru Gobind Singh lost all 4 of his sons to Mughal hostility. 2 died in battle, and 2 younger children were bricked alive into a wall. Recognizing that casual self-defense was no longer viable, Guru Gobind Singh took decisive action in 1699. He formed the Khalsa. He institutionalized his followers into a formal martial community. Instead of simply repelling attacks, the Khalsa began claiming territorial boundaries and challenging imperial control. The Khalsa formalized a massive shift in Sikh operations. It declared an intent to hold sovereign political power. After Guru Gobind Singh's death, his trusted disciple Banda Bahadur led the newly forged Khalsa army. Under the reign of Emperor Bahadur Shah I, Banda Bahadur captured numerous Mughal provinces and established localized Sikh rule. The Mughals struck back forcefully. By 1715, Emperor Farrukh Sir captured Banda Bahadur and had him executed the following year. This created a dangerous leadership vacuum. Without a central figure, the Sikh community fractured into 2 competing ideological camps, the dissenting Bandai faction and the orthodox Tat Khalsa. This split threatened to undo decades of organizing. But in 1721, a prominent scholar named Bhai Mani Singh mediated the divide. successfully reuniting the factions into a single cohesive force. Surviving this internal crisis demonstrated the resilience of the Sikh structure. It proved they could operate effectively through consensus rather than relying on a single absolute leader. By the mid-1700s, the Mughal state was severely weakened, struggling to secure its northern borders and collect revenue. The chaos deepened when Ahmad Shah Abdali of Afghanistan initiated a series of brutal invasions, striking India 8 distinct times between 1748 and 1767. The Afghans ravaged the region, but failed to hold it. The Mughals were too depleted to defend it. This geopolitical power vacuum opened directly over the Punjab. The Sikhs moved to exploit this void. In 1748, Commander Kapoor Singh Fazulapuria reorganized their forces into a disciplined standing army, the Dal Khalsa. He structured this military tactically. He placed experienced veterans into the Buddha Dal, while assigning younger, highly mobile fighters to the Taruna Dal. As the imperial hierarchies of the Mughals and Afghans collapsed under the weight of constant war, the Sikhs implemented a highly functional, localized military hierarchy that could rapidly seize and hold ground. By the 1770s, the Dal Khalsa had secured a massive footprint stretching from Saharanpur to Attock, down to Multan, and up to the northern mountains. Instead of a single kingdom, they divided this territory into 12 sovereign states called missals, meaning equal. Looking at the political system of this confederacy reveals a remarkably modern approach to governance. The first rule was absolute sovereignty. Every single missal operated independently within its borders, entirely free from the interference of the other 11 states. Internally, each missal operated on a democratic framework. Citizens elected a chief, who shared governing duties with a 4-member council. To coordinate external defense and shared economic policy, they utilized the Gurmata, a unified administrative council where all 12 chiefs met to pass joint resolutions. Surrounded by the absolute monarchies of surrounding empires, the Sikhs constructed an effective, decentralized military democracy. This unique architecture allowed the entire region to finally stabilize and prosper after suffering through decades of devastating imperial wars. The Golden Temple, once a simple site of devotion, now served as the geographic and political center of a commanding regional power. The missile system secured the borders and established administrative order. It provided the exact foundation a young chief named Maharaja Ranjit Singh would later use to consolidate these 12 states into the formidable Sikh empire. Driven to take up arms by state persecution, a pacifist movement systematically organized their deep devotion, their community's wealth, and their standing soldiers to carve a sovereign state out of collapsing empires.